But there's Camden looking rather dreamily in the distance. He looks magnificent in the robes. I wish I could wear them like that.
He looks an extremely smart figure, full-bottomed wig, all this beautiful gold embroidery, a ship in full sail. You like costume, don't you, by looking at these pictures? You like dressing up, possibly?
Nobody's ever thought I would make the columns of Taylor and Cutter. No, it is part of my duties to put on the regalia. I think it's quite fun putting it all on. I try to do it properly, and I can, put on the knee breeches and the silk stockings and remember how to put on a full-bottom wig without it looking like a basset hound when you've got it on.
But it's the pictures of Lord Burleigh and Elizabeth I which dominate his office, and they're not just valued by Clark. I know many collectors who would happily pay a couple of £100,000 to secure these icons of English history for their own walls. There was something whimsical, even romantic about Clark's taste. These were not remote grandees, but models of inspiration. I asked him, though, what he thought these authoritarians said to people who visited his office.
Not that I'm reproducing the slightly dictatorial nature of Elizabethan government, I trust. No, they were important figures of English history. I actually really do believe Queen Elizabeth was one of our most spectacularly successful monarchs. She was totally dependent on Burleigh, her Lord Treasurer, for most of the time, and I agree, he ran a good secret service, he ran a very tight treasury. He was a man of affairs, he was a man of government, a man of business, and actually he was damn good at it. So I don't think it's an altogether bad influence on me, and I assure you I'm not really getting authoritarian instincts from gazing at the rather awesome picture of the Queen.
Well, these are not pretty pictures that allow the eye to escape. These are images of hierarchy you've got here. I think you're saying something quite strong.
I just found, to my amazement, that two splendid historical portraits were available when I went through the racks. I mean, of course it's more fashionable for ministers nowadays, particularly in the last government, to go in for rather third-rate modern art by already being forgotten modern British artists. But and there is some good modern art in the collection, don't get me wrong, but my period of office here is the only time I shall have two Tudor portraits on my wall.
Kenneth Clark is right. The government art collection has plenty of contemporary and emerging art, some of it shrewdly purchased like a young wine before its price went beyond the collection's £200,000 a year annual budget. In fact, that's another point to the collection, to promote cutting-edge national talent for the minister who is bold enough to show it. In contrast to Clark's taste for vintage, Chris Hume, Lib Dem Secretary of State for Energy and Climate Change, definitely likes his Beaujolais more nouveau. As a first-time minister, with a taste for the modern, did he have any idea that he could plunder the government's art cellars?
No, none whatsoever. And this particular artist, Howard Hodgkin, I'm very keen on, and I have one of his lithographs at home. And I saw this in the art collection, and I thought, great, because actually it's a very fine example of his work, and I love it.
It's a radically modern-looking picture, with a strong blue background, these great blobs of orange. I have to say, it's very different from the majority of your colleagues' ministerial offices.
Well, one of the things I felt coming into this particular office, I don't actually have a very strong predilection in favour of abstract or modernist versus figurative art. It depends very much on the setting. And this building has recently been revamped, and it's very white, very bare walls, and I thought actually it needed a bit of colour, and therefore modernist painting would be exactly what was required to liven the place up a bit.
I'm looking at your tie. It's not particularly assertive. Your art really is, though. I mean, what do you think it says about you?
I don't think it says anything about me. It's really, as I say, about finding things that are appropriate for this particular setting in this office.
Do you find your art therapeutic?
It gives me a great pleasure, actually, to see these pictures when I come in the morning.
I get the impression that you respond quite sensually to your art. Does it help you make decisions?
I don't know whether it helps make decisions. I think that it's a good idea to have an environment where you can think and do things, and I think that art does help in that sense, because it is one of the most distinguishing features of any society is its art.
Chris Hume has his modernist allies. Other private offices have a strong smattering of what New Labour dubbed Cool Britannia.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.